You're tuned in to the Prism. 25 years on, we remember the summer that followed the fall. Now, some would tell you summer was mercy. After the cold storms and hunger of spring, the rains came gentle and the soil gave us something green. Fields of bitter grain took root in the flats near the blood groves. Squash things, half plant, half something else, twined up the wreckage we'd hammered into walls. Even the springs rose, trickling clear from the rocks through just as often as brackish or tainted with metal. We drank, though the effects of this water, this Aurora Springs as we called it, varied between us all, some for the better, others for the worse. We ate not well, but enough to stop counting ribs in the mirror. Summer was just never mercy. It was a season of bargains. The bobbies stripped more from the wreck. What they couldn't fix, they broke apart. The hull plating that had sheltered us in spring became siding for the longhouses. The wreck stopped being a monument of survival and started being a grave. Graves have a way of swallowing the truth. The roses set to planting hands in the soil from dawn to dusk. They wanted a future here, one made with roots and patience. Though we found out quick the Quackens didn't quite appreciate our expansion of growth and destroyed the early startings of a ranch. Blackthorn and Kessler took their own path, south, into the Devil's Spine. They said fortunately there, ores, crystals, relics older than our old crash. They left with carts full of supplies and promises to return. Few believed them, fewer still mourned their going. Out there, maybe they found what they wanted. Or maybe the sand took them, like it takes all things left in the sun too long. The freedom fighters knew we needed help, knew we needed support. They sought out the Red Rock folk to our west, venturing into those dust storms just to make contact. Crossing the horizon, that was the last time we saw them, last time we heard from them. The androids too became even more present. Steve Rose, after having been snatched up by a big old bird, returned with his voice like a sermon, rallied them into something like a congregation. They saved his life, and now he thought to save theirs. He preached of rebuilding, of returning to a greater purpose. Not everyone trusted him. Many feared what he represented, that something from the wreck still lived. And maybe they lived truer than we did. And through it all, the Loyalists moved quietly, steadily. They called themselves keepers of order. They rationed the foods the bobbies distributed, and in exchange, they demanded loyalty. They settled disputes with authority and not fairness. They did not need to be loud, they only needed to be patient. Piece by piece, they made themselves the law. Some still call it survival, others of us know better. Yet summer was not without hope. Bonds deepened with the Quackens, whose psychic threads tethered us to something larger than our own fears. For the first time, people spoke of partnership instead of conquest. Music returned too, flutes carved from bone, drums hammered from whole plates. At night, songs carried across campfires, rising into the sky. For a heartbeat, it almost felt like we belonged. But when the fires died low, whispers lingered. Dreams curdled into visions. The earth remembers what stirred in spring, and the air carried secrets, murmured in the stillness between breaths. Children wept at shapes they couldn't name, and men woke with frost on their lips, though the night stayed warm. And that's how summer ended, not with famine, not with war, but with a chill that crept under every doorframe, the first breath of something vast, patient, and watching. This is the Prism, and I tell you this because it matters. They will say summer was order. They will say summer was peace. But memory knows better, and remembers bargains, silences, and the moment the air turned cold. Stay tuned, and remember why we endure. are playing A Quiet Year to flesh out the world of a D&D 5th edition. We have landed successfully on D&D 5th edition as the game we will be playing after this Quiet Year ends. Just a reminder that this Quiet Year is kind of setting up the people that we will see and what this society kind of becomes. The D&D game is starting 25 years after this Quiet Year, just to kind of clear that up.
So it will be, if we're saying like after fall is our time start, it'll be year 26 after fall?
No, it'll be from time start of Crash, so Crash 25 years later.
Gotcha.
Just to give a reminder of our resources we have here. In the bear category, we have building materials, people, and freedom ideology. In scarcity, we have the Kraken's trust, usable land, the Krakens themselves, the unidentified black decaying mark, and technology, since we kind of traded a lot of our technology for food and seeds and whatnot, and knowledge. And moderate, we have shelter, now that we have our longhouses. Empire ideology, which is slowly growing stronger and stronger. Fear of Steve, because that motherfucker came back very questionable. And morale is at moderate, because we're doing kind of okay. And then abundance, we have potential energy, superstition and spirituality, seeds, fear of technology, the Aurora Springs, which is kind of our magic water, and food. Yeah, let's get into it. Jake, you ready for your card?
Yep.
There's some fun ones in here. So let me go ahead and get this ready. Let me double count them really quick. Jake, at the 3 of Autumn.
Someone leaves the community after issuing a dire warning. Who? What is the warning? Or someone issues a dire warning and the community leaps into action to avoid disaster. What is the warning? Start a contentious project that relates to it.
And real quick, while you're thinking about that, I did also want to say, let's try to focus on the community by the Krakens as our community. Like once Dominion Station is done, let's maybe leave that group alone to progress as NPCs do, and kind of focus on our Kraken's community here.
Gotcha.
If there is a threat that becomes present, could it be something like people have come from Dominion Station saying, big city, bad thing happened near us? Like, drove them out of the area? Okay. But so we can affect them in that way, but we're not going to like hover over them Civ 6 style.
Yeah.
Still working it out, but I'm going to choose someone issues a dire warning and the community leaps into action to avoid disaster. What is the warning? The Aurora Spring investigation. What's going on with that? I see the Aurora Spring weaponized research is how to make it into a weapon, but
yeah, the weaponized research I think is being led by the Loyalists to figure out how to make it into weapons. The investigation is because it was creating odd reactions in people, and we're investigating to see why and what those reactions are, such as blindness or extra
how to stim the bad ones and why people are getting good ones, so that we can all theoretically get good ones.
Kurt Bridges.
With a C or K?
With a K, of course, with a K.
It's my brother's name.
Your brother's name is Kurt Bridges?
Yeah, that exactly.
He is a, let's say, he's not the leader of the Loyalists. He is a Loyalist, and he finds out that the Wardens of the Font are poisoning the Aurora Spring, and that's why people are becoming deformed from it. And he is going to start a project to find out more information and convince the public, or convince, his superiors that this is going on.
Has he exclaimed to the entire community that, like, hey, I think someone's poisoning?
I think he's running it up the ladder. He's doing his investigation,
Gotcha.
He's getting as much information as he can, and then he's going to go to the rest, to the loyalists, and go to his bosses and let them know.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Now, why is it contentious? Why is it like controversial?
I'm going to say, at this point, the Wardens of the Font, we don't know who they are, right? They're a shadowy organization. I'm going to say by this point, they have installed some people high up in the Loyalists, probably. So he's got active forces working against him.
Okay, that's pretty cool. How long do you think that'll take?
Well, I'm going to say, let's do 2 weeks.
Did I answer everything? Leaps into the action, avoid disaster. Cool. Project Dice Go Down, which includes yours, Jake, which is convenient. Okay. Now take an action, Jake. Discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project. And if you do a discussion, I can remind you on how that works.
Okay, we're going to discover something new. The Drift Gurus. They're the ones that ride the giant worms, right?
Yeah.
So besides the giant worms, they have these mix like this. It's a mix of a let's say wolf dog that is something out of a Lovecraftian style wolf. We're gonna call them oryx hounds.
Can you spell that, please?
Oryx hound. They are the natural predators to the Quackens. So they resemble a wolf. They have 6 eyes. They do the same or similar bonding that the Quackens do, but they have been domesticated. But I'm going to say that knowledge is kept within the Drift Gurus.
Did we see their dogs when they came and traded with us, or no?
Yeah, I'm going to say we did.
Okay.
Little retconning.
And I assume they kept them away from our livestock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the
cool.
ones that did get close enough were well trained enough where they just stayed next to,
I was less concerned about their wolves and more of our giant wildebeests that we have no control over.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alrighty. Will, are you ready for yours?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
You got the 7 of Autumn.
The 7 of Autumn. The project just isn't working out as expected. Radically change the nature of this project. Don't modify the project die. When it resolves, you'll be responsible for telling the community how it went. Or something goes afoul and supplies are ruined at a new scarcity. I'm gonna say a project is altered, and it's gonna be the one we just started about the investigation of the Wardens. Kurt Bridges starts his investigation, but before he starts it, he kind of flags it up the chain of command to be like, hey, I've noticed something. I'm a little nervous about it. I'd like to see if I can figure something out. I've seen some shady people. And as it's going up the flag chain, some of those higher up Wardens of the Font catch wind of it. And they take it to the leader of the Loyalist. We will call them Kaiser Ulysses. And the way that the project is going to change is it's going to kind of roll into the Aurora Springs weaponized research. The leader of the Font, who we're not going to name yet, kind of gets in a closed meeting with Kaiser and says, hey, we have more experience with this. We didn't land with you, but we're willing to help you if you help us control who gets these powers. And so they're going to stop poisoning the springs for now. What that's going to change is the Aurora Springs weaponized research. Essentially, their goal is now going to be to contain the magic coming out of the springs in a school of some kind. So if you are a loyalist to the Empire and therefore a loyalist to the Font or the Wardens of the Font, you can get powers. But if not, it's not going to get shared with you. Essentially, Illuminatiing the shit.
And then that project ended on your turn. And I just went ahead and said that the resolution of that project is the springs no longer poison, but Warden of the Font will have say on who can contain the magics of the Font.
Yeah, and I'm going to draw a black circle around the springs as the Loyalists are going to start setting up cleanup of the springs, essentially, just keeping everyone away from this like spring head, so they can start laying out foundations for their later project and keep primarily the roses as the only real person that's shaken things up from accessing it.
That plays even more into what I am hoping happens there.
Yeah, I figured was gotta have bad guys. Discovery. I think I'm gonna do a discovery too, because we don't have anywhere near enough beasties. It's made by the band camp, as they're not really doing anything useful. Kind of wandering out near the cliffs, the volcanoes, coming to check out the cave. One of them has the idea of, hey, we're gonna go see if we can find like any belongings in the pile of bones, like anything that we can like scrap or whatever. And they notice that there is a collection of creatures coming out of the caves. They are essentially I'm trying to think of a good size comparison. They're about the size of a husky or just like a large dog, essentially. And they are feline in nature, look almost like lynx or mountain lion in build, but their fur is like almost looks like it's gelled back. It's not fluffed up, but it's oily and it's darker colors. They do have one set of eyes that are bright yellow and have black slits in them, and they seemingly can phase through shadows. But they come back to town with the band camp kids and start essentially doing what cats do, where they start hunting different pests, being barn cats, being useful, and start to coexist into the community. They're almost like a miniaturized version of like a displacer beast, is what my thought process is. And they're going to be called Cave Weirs. Weirs. They do not have any psychic abilities, but they are quote unquote trainable. As much as any cat is trainable.
Cool. All right, Sequoia, you ready for your turn? You got the 9 of autumn.
Okay, so my options are the community works constantly, and as a result, a project finishes early, or a group goes out to explore the map more thoroughly and find something that had been previously overlooked. I think I want to pick the second, but let me just check the project.
Okay, and while she's doing that, both Will and Jake, I'm gonna need just a little doodle of your animals somewhere.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
Just a little doodle. Jake, I'm expecting all 6 eyes to fit on this little doodle.
Yeah, I think we're gonna choose to discover something that had been previously overlooked, which is going to be kind of behind and above the volcanoes, and that's why it was overlooked. Is it was kind of out of view if you're directly in our town, unless you head north a little bit, and I'll draw it on the map in a minute, but up kind of northeast of the volcanoes, maybe at the kind of northern edge of the canyon here, is a pretty large foresty patch with fossilized trees. So it used to be a forest.
And then Sequoia, you're drawing. Are these petrified trees or what are they?
Yeah, petrified trees.
And how thick is this forest? Is it pretty extensive? How big?
Yeah, I would say there's maybe at least 1,000 petrified trees of a pretty decent size.
And then once you're done drawing, you will take an action after that.
Okay, I'll take my action and then come back to drawing. Question about the Maw group. What's the Maw? The Sunken Apostles.
The Maw.
The Maw.
Yeah, the Sunken Apostles.
Do we know if they are hostile to the rest of the group, or if they're...
No, I don't think that's been I think it's just members of this group that are very superstitious or spiritual, and are now worshiping the Maw itself.
Whether that's defensive worship, like, oh, we worship you, we beseech you, don't kill us, or come consume all,
And just like many religions, there's no clear proof of any of what has been spoken about with the mall.
I also think it's like 5 guys. It's not like a huge group. It's like 5 people that found some ropes and were like, oh,
It's
yes.
the burger chain Five Guys that
I want
supports
5 guys so fucking bad. I want burger.
Okay, so a group of about 7 people, let's say 7 people, mixture of a couple from the Sunken Apostles and a few from the Roses, are going to investigate the cave to look for building materials so that we can build more shelters before it gets very cold. And the reason that those two groups are working together is because the Sunken Apostles have an interest in not only helping out with gathering resources, but they kind of want to check out the cave to see if they can find any evidence of the maw. And the Roses think it's a good idea because not only were there bones spotted down there, but we just had another animal discovered. So clearly there's another ecosystem of some sort in the cave. And I think that trip will probably take a week, 2 weeks. I don't know.
Well, it's not
It's
just
like
like the trip to the cave, but it's going inside and exploring whatever this cave system is.
Are you harvesting stuff, or are you just looking for a new set of resources? Because I think if you're just looking for a new set, it might be 2 to 3.
Yeah, I think this is just a scouting trip.
Let's do 2, and then go from there.
So maybe it's less than 7. Maybe there's 3. Maybe 3 people.
Oh, I had you do your action before reducing dice. Let me do that real quick. Jake, Dominion Station is completed. What's that looking like?
So I think it is just the inside of this mountain is hollowed out. It looks like basically Grand Central Station inside the mountain, and then that first level of the corporate building above it, the base foundation has been laid as well, and scaffolding starting to go up for the rest of the tower. I think they established a couple of hubs, and since there aren't too many places to go, I think they had to kind of guess where these hubs are. And I'm gonna say I'll finish like drawing them too. I think
Okay.
one's right there.
Never mind. That's pretty far away. Never mind. Ignore what I was about to say.
What's up?
I was gonna say I think from the distance they might be able to see the scaffolding, but it is pretty far. So maybe not just yet, but I'm sure
I think you probably can't miss. There's some signs that something's there now, right? If it's like dust in the air or
smoke in the distance,
some type of smoke or something. And I think they did, just to start, they did 2 hubs, a northern hub, and then I'm going to say a southern hub right here. And that's how far the tracks have gotten so far. So
so they're building tracks up to the community at Quacken's or Blood Grove.
Yep. They're just assuming. They're assuming there's going to be settlements somewhere around here. So
they also probably would be receiving our beacon notice that we're calling for survivors, because we're not exactly hiding it.
Yeah, that was the action. And then Sequoia, your action. Turn 30. Almost 52 weeks, guys. We're getting there. Tina, you ready for yours?
Yep.
Queen of Autumn.
Disease spread through the community. Choose one. You spend the week quarantined and treating the disease. Project dice are not reduced this week, versus nobody knows what to do about it. Adds health and fertility as a scarcity.
oh.
Tina, hold on. Before anyone says anything else, Tina, that was the most villainous laugh I think I have ever heard come out of your mouth.
I also want to confirm, did all of our bobbies die? Like, are they all dead already? I don't remember if that ever was, like, fully established.
They're not all dead yet.
All our bodies? What?
Bobbies.
Bobbies. Not all of them. I think
I thought they were wiped out, no?
I think maybe like a couple are still alive, but the majority died on the ship.
I think everybody knows at this point what I'm going to pick. Nobody knows what to do about it. Health and fertility is now a scarcity. Can I choose what kind of disease is spreading?
Yeah, let us know what.
I have a suggestion.
Go.
Tuberculosis.
That's
It's
so
killed
bad.
us forever, and it will continue to kill us forever.
I mean, yes, but like, why something that exists in this world when we can make
Space tuberculosis.
space tuberculosis? Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Fair enough. If you want to, it's fine. It's whatever.
The disease that spreads isn't normal disease spreadage. It's definitely coming from the water. The Aurora Springs definitely has a tinge of mutations spreading throughout, and it's a very specific mutation. The ones that have this disease, at least that's what they call it, seems to be mutating in a same way. They are growing another set of limbs. Their original set seems to grow smaller, while their second set underneath, right underneath, seems larger. They almost kind of have to drag it behind them. It's uncomfortable at first, but after a while, the people with this disease grow very accustomed to their second set of limbs. They almost become second nature for them. Their skin is a tinge of bluish, not completely blue, like bright blue, like the sky, for example, but more of like a little bit of coldness to their normal skin color. So if they were light skinned, they look light blue, but if they were darker, they look almost colder. I don't know how to describe this.
No, I got what you're saying.
And everything else is almost the same, except for some reason, they can't produce children with the ones without the disease. Seemingly, at least from what was seen after a couple years. They can only seem to reproduce with others with the same disease.
Cool.
And it's not just like that specifically. That's just one of the diseases. There are others that kind of just makes the people a little weirder.
So I guess let's answer this. It was kind of hinted at that the warden of the fonts were poisoning the Aurora Springs, which was possibly the reason people were becoming deformed by it. Is this from that poisoning, or did they? Because they had said we're gonna stop poisoning. Did they not stop?
It was never the poison.
It was never
the poison. What's what was blinding people and causing like actual health crisis, like blindness, paralyzingness.
That's
I
it.
couldn't think of the word.
No, that's the word, paralyzingness.
That's what actually caused actual physical harm to the body, but these are mutations. They are called disease because, well, it's happening inconsistently. I mean, it's been happening consistently within the community.
If the blood of somebody who is diseased touches somebody else, or like, let's just be really nice and PG and say, can it transmit from one person to another via any sort of bodily fluids?
Nope, it can only transmit through the water.
Okay, so once you're infected, but nobody else can be affected by you.
Nope.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on how your DNA fucks with the water.
Do they suffer at all because it says health and fertility are a scarcity? Or is it just they got weird fucking ones now?
The fertility is a scarcity due to them not being able to produce higher with other heirs with other, I guess,
non-infected,
not diseased people. But with same kind of mutation can be with same kind of mutation and produce the same kind of mutation. More or less, like, it seems like a new group of people were unfortunately made against their will.
How many of the community, how much of the community is affected? Either give me a number, or like a number of people, or a percentage of people.
5%.
5%? Okay. Not too many. Okay.
Not too much, but like enough to be like, oh,
yeah.
I can't fuck you and produce a child. That's a thing that we can actually notice.
Yeah, that's what I noticed when that's the first thing I noticed with people.
I mean,
Oh boy. Will, the Aurora Springs weaponized research has completed. How's that resolve? And also keep in mind that the warden of the font will have say on who can contain the magics of the font.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that happens is this has been being built kind of in the background, sort of since it was a little bit beforehand as they were trying to figure out how to weaponize it. But once the Wardens of the Font kind of got involved, they have developed a. There is a specific process, a ritual of sorts, that the Warden has used. These springs well up from time to time, and there is a ritual in which you can imbue the springs into somebody. And part of this imbuing process, it allows you to mutate in very like specific ways. Like they can control your mutation to grant you access to channel some of the mysticism from the springs. And so they build a academy called the Warden's School, the Warden's Academy of the Font. And I think their faction is just going to rename themselves because now they're running the academy essentially. And the first person to receive this ritual process is going to be Kaiser, the overseer Kaiser. What's his fucking face?
Ulysses.
Yeah, that guy.
It's crazy, dude. I don't know how I remembered that as I was actively typing something, but it was there.
And with that, with their like school in their tower, they've started to take the springs and through some process filter and concentrate the magic out and then just release the byproduct water, which is just normal water, into the town. So now there's going to be no more weird mutations that are just happening, and it's going to be controlled mutations unless there is a leak in the future or another spring pops up somewhere, which can happen. And the loyalists are going to say, hey, because we don't know how people are being changed, we're going to investigate and figure out how to control it and filter out the weird chemicals. If you want to learn more about this, please come join our school and be a good loyalist for the Empire.
Does this sound right? Can control mutation from springs. Built Warden's Academy of the Font. First person to receive the mutation through the Wardens is Overseer Kaiser Ulysses. Water is filtered, leaving the magical part of it to be controlled by the Warden's loyalists.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think for now, the two factions are allied.
Yeah.
But there is some, like a hidden, everybody that is in on it knows the first chance they get, they're going to stab each other in the back.
Oh, yeah.
The loyalists have the manpower, the wardens have the magic knowledge. And I think the wardens are anti-tech and the loyalists might want to bring some tech back.
They're probably like pro both, like.
Yeah, just whatever we can use, we should be using.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put a little lake here as water is kind of filtered out. Part of their dealings is they've made a reservoir of some kind for the town so that it doesn't look like they're just being
Now,
assholes.
Should we split the resource Aurora Springs to be water in abundance, and then the magic part of the Aurora Springs is now a scarcity?
I would say moderate. We can say scarcity for the community.
Yeah, I'm gonna put scarcity specifically for the community, but the wardens and loyalists have it in bulk.
Yeah, but they're just not telling people they have it in bulk, and they're going to start.
Access to the water should be bare or scarce.
Access to the springs is scarce, yeah. The closer you are with the loyalists, the easier it's going to be for you to change. And I think for like a gameplay perspective, if you are not trained by the Wardens of the Font or not imbued in a specific process, you have more natural magic than you do academic, like arcana magic, if that makes sense. So like wizards are somebody who has been changed. A druid or a cleric might be somebody who just drank too much water one day, if that makes sense. That's kind of where my thought process is going, but that might change.
Should have kept fluoride in the water, basically.
Yeah. That's what they're doing. The Empire's just putting fluoride in the water.
That's it.
Making sure people's teeth don't fall out.
Fluoride's dope.
Tina, you still have your action to choose. Discover something new, start a project, or hold a discussion.
Discover something new. Out by the goldfish cracker stones?
Red rocks, yep.
Yeah, goldfish, red rocks. A group of flying humanoid creatures
I'm sorry, excuse me?
It
Flying
seems
humanoid
like
creatures.
they are. It seems like they are flying towards a specific direction, and they're communicating with each other. It's kind of like a community. And as they're coming closer and closer, the town finally views a giant kraken, the size of like a small size of land that could hold about 50 to 100 people. And it seems like on the back of them, that's where the flying creatures are coming to and fro. Seem to be bring random debris, rocks, trees, seeds. It's like they're like restocking their town, and they do come close to the town that we're building, but not too close. They're really cautious.
All right,
And
I'm gonna
have a
need you
giant-
to
draw a giant
draw
duck.
a giant Quacken, and I mean, now that it's like every time it gets bigger, I'm expecting more and more artsy detail in this, Tina.
Is it? Are we associating it with a Quacken because that's what we're familiar with, and it's not the same creature, but we're misidentifying it, or is it?
It's a quacking god.
It is a. It looks like a kraken, but it has eyes and wings. It can fly.
Okay.
It looks
Does it
like
have
it could fly.
Does it have 4 legs?
It does have 4 legs and like a kind of a long tail.
It's a dragon, but we think it's a Quacken just because it's in the
Yes.
distance and it's yellow.
It's yellow. It has a bill still, but it's more or less like a dragonish.
I was gonna be really curious about how fucking big the blood tree this thing was eating off of, because we've already established they don't leave the blood trees. And so that's why I asked if it's a different creature, is because I didn't know if
It's not this.
there was an implication. Okay.
It's just imagine somebody discovering this giant fucking yellow creature that has a bill, and then be like, "Yep, that's a giant kraken. All right, cool. I'm gonna tell the folks." That's what happened.
And so it's implied the flying humanoids are living on the back of this Quacken-like
Yes.
creature. Okay.
Okay, how am I drawing too big? I think I might. be
Yeah,
drawing
that
too
is Tina. That is far too big. Just draw it as like the size of the like this ping, as big as that gets, and then we'll just understand that that's probably much bigger.
This is gonna take a while.
I'm gonna
Is there
I'm gonna
anything else I
resize
need to
your
do?
I'm gonna resize your circle. Oh wait.
I feel like
There
it
you
needs to be a little bigger than that.
We'll understand that it's bigger, but for map
Okay.
purposes, we'll keep it a little smaller so we have room.
I mean, our quote unquote town is 3 little houses. So like,
Yeah.
if that's the size of a town, and this thing is that much bigger, I am slightly concerned.
I like its sassy legs if those are legs. Like it's 2 little sassy legs at the bottom. Cool. While you work on that, we'll move on to the next turn. I think we're back to you, Jake. And I have for you the Ace of Autumn.
The community becomes obsessed with a single project. Which one? Why? Choose one. They decide to take more time to ensure that it's perfect. Add 3 weeks to the project. They drop everything else to work on it. All other projects fail. Or if there are no projects underway, the community becomes obsessed with the grandiose vision.
So we got a couple projects. So it's either going to add 3 to 1 or all of the other ones are going to fail. That's what it sounds like there.
So the projects we currently have going, it looks like, is the Call for Survivors, which is 2
Wait.
weeks out of 8 left.
I think the cave investigation would have finished, right?
It will finish this week after his
yeah.
card, because we've been doing card, take down the dice, and then action.
So yeah. Call for Survivors, Aurora Spring Investigation, or Cave Investigation.
Would the Aurora Spring investigation, would that fail because now the springs are basically dried up?
I think they're still investigating. I think it's going to come down to maybe not being able to discover the magical potency of it anymore. But
or maybe they could discover magical potency for those who already have it, like a feeling of more connection with nature or something.
I think maybe
they did do work for like 4 weeks.
How did the survivors put out a call?
We built a communications array, so on one of Sequoia's turns, she made like a two-way radio for our community to talk to itself. And then we also built a tower array that's just beeping out a message that's saying, hey, we're here at these coordinates. We have food and shelter. We're building a survivor. We're building survivorships. Come seek us out. We can't receive messages back, but we're just beaconing out ourselves.
All right. That one we're going to move. It's add 3 weeks, right?
It was at 2, so I went up to 5.
Yeah. The engineer on the project discovers that some math wasn't done correctly, and there was no signal been going out the whole time. But they caught it, and it took them 3 weeks to do the math to figure out how to get it done properly.
Let's add this. Who set up the beacon? Like, which engineer set up the beacon?
I think it was Loyalist.
You trying to get me to come up with another character name?
Always, dude. I
Oh.
want this to be our ashamed engineer.
Also,
You're good.
retconning just a little bit. The changing of the Wardens of the Font investigation, I think Kurt was killed.
Yeah, silently taken out.
I don't know who knows if he died or not, but it was like as the Wardens were originally talking to the Overseer, they kind of quietly swept him under the rug, just in case it went poorly. I meant to mention that, and I realized I didn't.
Okay, I got the name for the. It's Bert Cridges.
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm not, I won't do that to you. It was a dumb joke. I won't do that to you.
Now, what's this guy's name? Bert? What did you say?
No.
I'm writing it down.
No, we're gonna go. No, it's not. It's not Bert. It's not Bert. We're gonna go Vera June. Vira space JUNN.
And they were a loyalist, or were they?
Yeah, loyalist engineer.
hired
That's
on?
what they.
All right, let's get our dice down. That's pretty funny that that happened.
Yeah. Especially because they do have radios. They could have checked at any point, and they just didn't.
Sequoia, the cave investigation has finished. What has been discovered?
Okay, so they discovered, and they were specifically looking for building materials. So there may be more down there. But what they came back with was kind of a mud-like substance that seems to be made from sand that was like filtering down through cracks in the ground, mixed with a bacteria that was fermenting it into mud. And there's a bunch of it down there in the cave.
What about it makes it different from mud found on the surface? Like, why do we want the cave mud over the surface mud?
Mud.
Well, I don't know
What
if there
does
is
the
surface
bacteria-
mud.
Well, we have water on the surface, so theoretically we could make mud. Make it special and fun. What does bacteria do?
Okay.
Yeah, your thing's not fun enough for us, Sequoia. I'm gonna need you to make it a little more fun, please.
Okay, so the fact that it is sourdough mud means that it also is a really good germinating material for seeds. So if we use it to create mud structures, a mud house or other mud buildings, we can plant things on the surface of the building and they'll grow really well and it doesn't affect the integrity of the structure.
I like that.
Is that
Hey,
fun enough?
Sequoia, good job making it more interesting.
Chia seed houses for you.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah. I
That
love
sounds amazing.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could just had weird smelling mud, but now we have chia seed mud. I don't feel bad at all with my question.
I think I had a Scooby-Doo chia seed, and I don't think it looked. I'm pretty sure it was Scooby-Doo. Maybe it was Shaggy.
I have a Mr. T one, and it grows on his mohawk.
You still have
The-
you still have it?
It's actually a family heirloom that gets passed between me and my uncle, and it's dumb, but yeah, it's fucking great.
That was the project dice, and we're on Jake's turn. So Jake, it is your action.
Out of all the factions, who do we think has the most scientists out of them? I guess it would be the loyalists at this point, right?
Yeah, the
everyone else
loyalists.
kind of fucked off, and it's the loyalists and the roses / unaffiliated people I think left.
The Flint and Steel do have the androids, so I don't know if you want to count
Oh,
in
that's
their
true.
AI intelligence as well.
Was the Flint and Steel where the faction that Steve founded?
Yeah, led by Steve, group of androids.
Can we change that from Flint and Steel to Flint and Steve?
Flint and
Is
Steel.
that allowed?
Yes.
Well, we could. The Steel is meant to be the androids. The Flint, I'm pretty sure would be Steve in the situation, so it would be Steve and Steve. Steve and Steel
Steve and Steel.
could work.
Rose
I
and
do
Steel?
like Flint and Steel. Rose and Steel is pretty good too.
I feel like if it's Rose and Steel, I'm gonna confuse it with the Roses.
That's true. That's true.
So,
Ooh,
Steve and
question,
Steel,
question.
I'm totally down for.
Flint, Steel, and Steve.
Ooh, yes.
That's a bit silly, but
We can leave it as Flint and Steel. I was just trying to remember who it was.
Jake, were you the one that was talking about scientists? Right.
Yep.
What are you thinking?
I am thinking to redeem herself, Vera June is going to lead an expedition and try to figure out finally, once and for all, what's going on with this weird fucking water.
The one all the way south?
Yeah, so she's going to have to make contact with Blackthorn and Kessler and then get over there.
We have seen it like once crashing, and I think maybe some things have been said about it from Blackthorn and Kessler while building their station.
They know it's a
but
body of water, right?
yeah, they know
that's
it's a
about
body
it.
of water, and it probably just looks like you could probably tell the thickness of it from a distance. Like that's some thick waves in that body of water. But okay, so it's gonna take some time for her to get over there, and then also research it. So
6 weeks.
okay. Will, you have the 6th of Autumn.
All right, 6 of Autumn is gonna be introduce a dark mystery among the members of the community, or conflict flares up among community members, and as a result, a project fails. I don't think I want to fail any of our projects, but I think that I'm going to introduce a dark mystery among the members of the community. 3 people went out, correct, Sequoia, between loyalists and the Sunken Apostles?
Yes,
The
but they are already
roses.
back.
Oh, the roses and the Sunken Apostles. Are the Sunken Apostles out and proud? Like, are they waving their Confederate flag, being assholes? Or are they, like, keeping it on the hush-hush of, like, we're in the secret cool club? You're the last person who touched them, so I'm going to let you choose.
I think they are out and proud.
I think 2 out of 3 of the people came back. I think it was 2 of the Roses crew, 1 of the Sunken Apostles, and at some point on the mission, 1 of the Roses crew somehow got into a mysterious accident and they weren't able to recover the body. And the remaining Rose doesn't have concrete proof that the Sunken Apostle did it, but the Sunken Apostle wasn't too horribly torn up by it. Whether that was to feed the Great Maw or not, I think people are starting to debate it a little bit. It's kind of like they've started to gain a little bit of notoriety of like, okay, they were weird, whatever, but now it's kind of like, are they just weird or are they weird?
Let's make project days go down. I have a lot of completed projects. All right, Tina, the Aurora Spring investigation. Let's keep in mind that the water has been kind of, so they started inspecting it, and within like I think 2 weeks of their starting of inspection, the magical aspect of the spring was kind of shut down, reserved for the tower or the academy. So let's keep that in mind with finishing this Aurora Spring investigation. How does it end?
Wouldn't it be completed as in there is magic? We know there is magic. Something is mutating these people. They are now keeping it from us.
Yeah, I think the when the wardens finished it, they weren't super public about like, oh, we have magic, we've done magic. They, to the leaders of the empire, were like, hey, this stuff can change you if you know the right ways to do it. We can help you if you help us control it. And so the community doesn't know that magic's happening. Just that it was changing people. The empire said, hey, we've sectioned this off. We're going to stop it from changing people because it might be bad. Has been their public statement.
Do we remember what group was doing the
It was Rose.
investigation?
The Roses.
Oh, it was Rose? Oh yeah, Rose would be like, hey everybody, they're keeping magic water from us.
Yeah, so I
100%.
think with the first few weeks of being able to investigate it and then seeing people mutate, including Abby Rose herself, and then it being cut off and like seeing people being able to drink it and not have those mutations, they know something is up aside from just like negative mutations. Like I think Abby might have had positive mutations.
I think Abby had a pretty
Um,
positive one.
So I think they
Yeah,
know something with the
Abby
water
got
was
a very positive one, where she probably got some sort of druidic powers, because that seems very on brand for her specifically.
yeah. So
And,
they knew that the water had magic in it after like this research and investigation, and know that it's being not so
filtered.
much kept and controlled, but being filtered.
Oh yeah, the Roses would be 100% up in arms and like telling the people, hey, you know why you went blind? Because they poisoned the water, and now they're
I don't think that was
saying-
made public.
That
I don't think
wasn't
the
made
poisoning
public.
was not made public. It was the Empire's kind of running off the rationale of like, hey, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. We should probably stop drinking it. So we're gonna filter it all, and maybe we'll do some experiments and figure out what's going on.
So the poisoning was happening while people were also being mutated. So it was both being mutated, being poisoned, and like positive and negative mutations. The poisoning stopped, and another week had passed where mutations were happening, and then the mutation stopped happening because it was being filtered. So I think the loyalists are trying to play off of the mutations of being like, oh yeah, like you could go blind, even though that was the warden poisoning it, but that knowledge isn't open to the community,
So
at least.
there is enough knowledge where like the Roses did have a good mutation, and seen people with good mutations that's gain powers, that's gain like some sort of magic.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah,
that
so
everybody's drinking the water even more, and the government saying, hey, we're filtering it for your own good, she's going to
Abby
be like,
may-
no, they're not.
she's probably skeptical. She's probably
100%
definitely skeptical.
100% like, don't trust the government. That's the whole reason why we're in this mess in the first place. 100% doing that.
I think a suggestion I might also make is once the water stopped being magic and stopped giving out stuff, because we said that was 3 weeks before it finished, right, Mel?
Something like that.
I think Abby probably could have gotten all the people that had good, or maybe not necessarily bad mutations, but like half and half, and tried to help them figure out how to use this change to better themselves. So like Abby's School of Misfits or something, whatever you want to call it. To like learn how to manipulate whatever's happened to them. But I don't know if it's a separate project or not. But
I feel like at this point, Abby is still trying to unite the people, and is trying to be kind of like a, hey, just because mutations could end up bad doesn't always mean that they're bad. There are really good ones. I gained powers. Lots of people also gain powers. We don't know what happened. They are keeping this water away from us now. Kind of like
maybe we need to stop, because that might lead into discussion territory, you know? Like so I think maybe we leave it there.
Yeah?
Yeah. So Will, it is your turn to take an action now.
I'm going to open a discussion. It's going to be a member of the Roses, but not like Rose or any of the important people, just a concerned member of the community. I understand that everyone is up in arms about whether the magic water is good or bad, or whatever's happening over there. Gestures to the large constructed building now. But my question is, we feel the chill. Winter's coming. We have food, that's great. Where are we storing it, and how are we staying warm throughout winter?
I'll represent one of the remaining Bobbies, and they'll chime in and say, I agree. It's definitely feeling chilly. We do have food, but we know what it's like to not have food, because things have been pretty rough for most of the time we've been on this land. We need to protect the resources and get moving on shelter.
It's from Steve Rose. If we built more androids, they could help with growing more food. They can survive the cold without food. They can survive the cold without any sort of energy source from us. We should make more robots.
One of the kids from band camp pipes up. Bassoon is his name. Shout out to my double reads. Pipes up and says, it'd be really easy to turn one of those thermal kitchens into a heat source for a house.
Smart kid. And then, Will, you get to end with a comment.
Same person's going to kind of speak up. Well, whatever we do, we should do it quick, because looks over ominously at the giant duck thing to the south, or to the north. We're not alone here. And things might want to scavenge.
Sequoia, you got the 4 of Autumn.
The strongest among you dies. What caused the death? Or the weakest among you dies. Who's to blame for their death? Okay. One of our few remaining elders, one of the Bobbies, is found one morning lying out in the center of town. And it's pretty clear immediately from their manner of death that one of the androids murdered them.
How do we know it was an android? Was like an android standing over them, or is it just cause of death?
I think the wounds look like only something that an android could have done with their robot hands.
I imagine they also probably look at the 4 or 5 androids we have, and one is probably covered in blood.
Yeah.
Just chilling in the background, covered in blood. Nothing's happening. This is fine. This is fine. Do not panic. This is fine.
I mean, they are in the blood tree or dragon blood grove or whatever these trees are called. So I mean, it's just from the tree. It's just from the tree.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Please do not look over at at point A or whatever the fuck.
Everybody in the town, all their clothes are red. Not because they started red, but just because living around the dragon blood tree so long, just everything turns red eventually.
Do I need to dye one of the ducks? I mean, the quackens to red?
No.
Nah, it's fine.
Dice have gone down. No projects have finished. Sequoia, take an action.
Is our resources list accurate?
Let's take a look at it.
Like,
well, I think
the building materials maybe aren't super bare. People is definitely still bare.
Oh, you forgot to add fertility and health, or whatever, like the car I picked.
True. Okay.
It should probably both be scarcity, because now even less people can make more people, and also the mutations probably cause a lot of like uncomfiness and medication.
Right. Building materials went up. I think Fear of Steve has probably gone up with that card.
Oh,
Sequoia.
yeah.
I'm gonna say Fear of Steve and androids.
We got technology on there. They're both on there.
Okay. I think long-term food storage we should put in a scarcity.
I was gonna increase our empire ideology, but I mean the Roses are still a pretty loud faction that are not okay with what the Empire is doing, so we'll keep that at moderate.
I feel like we should also put moderate trust and the Roses.
Yeah, that's fine. Fine with that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jake, and we just wanted to take a moment to thank you for listening to this episode. We're not sponsored and we don't advertise, so the only way this podcast will spread is by word of mouth. So please let your friends know or tweet about us using hashtag the Prism Archives. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out every Tuesday on Twitch at the Prism Archives. Thanks again. Next episode will be up the first Monday of next month. We look forward to telling you our story. Back to the show.
All right, what's your what are you doing?
I would like to start a project led by the Roses and some other folks. I think we've got enough people who were interested in this project from the discussion that we had that others are willing to help who maybe normally wouldn't want to get their hands dirty. I'd like to start a project to build some structures out of the cave mud to make living and food storage houses. Like mud, I'm envisioning like kind of dome mud huts. And I think that'll take a while, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 4 to 6.
We'll do 4.
Because I feel like the mud's going to be relatively easy to work with. It's not like it requires a lot of technical knowledge.
Dude, your name has too many vowels all in a row.
All of them.
Was that on purpose? Were they like, let's name our child, but let's make sure they have every single vowel in their name?
When I was a kid, I'm telling you, I was like, why is my name not Kate? I couldn't spell
Rachel.
it. Couldn't say it.
Who are you? I don't know. Cool. I like the mud huts that have been introduced. Tina, it is your turn. You ready?
Ready.
You got the King of Autumn.
Okay, this game wants me to go evil.
I mean, it really does. It was the disease and now the natural disaster. Sorry, go ahead and read it.
I mean, a natural disaster strikes the area. What is it? Choose one. You focus on getting everyone to safety, remove an abundance, and a project fails. Versus, you focus on protecting your supplies and hard work at any cost. Several people die as a result. Both are pretty fucking spicy.
Both are pretty fucking spicy.
How is our people?
Bear. We don't have a lot of people, and we don't have a lot of fertility to make more people.
How many people do I need to kill in the natural disaster? Does it say?
Several people. It's not too many, but
Several as in like 3, right?
maybe 3.
7?
Maybe 3. 7.
12?
12. 12 could
20?
work. 20 could work. Yeah, 20.
I think I'm going to focus on getting everyone to safety, remove an abundance, and a project fail. Ooh, I'm gonna remove the fear of technology to scarcity. During this disaster, several of the androids went out of their way to save a lot of people. They more or less are the ones going to like the flooded. It's a big flood, by the way. It's a large flood from. Wait, we don't have water. Fuck. It's a large sandstorm.
Oh, that works. I was gonna say there could be like a heavy rain that came through, and we are at the base of a volcano, or a bunch of mountains.
That would make sense.
But sandstorm also is fun, so.
Yeah, I'm going to do the sandstorm, and it was like a instant sandstorm where it was a normal day, and then 3 seconds later you can't see, like you can only see to your arm length and then nothing else. The androids, being robots and not needing any biological anything, went out to more or less pick up all of the people, put them into the little houses. They built a reinforcement to prevent any sort of large gust of winds to erode the crops, erode the good soil that we've been building. One of the androids gets destroyed in the process, and they are now in a mourning period.
Okay. Are there any other named individuals that are killed in the sandstorm, or any specific faction members?
No, I chose the one where you don't kill people.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you sure did.
Do you want me to kill people?
No.
I will just pick a random person.
No.
Who's the oldest person?
Another Bobby? An android tripped him? Oh, it does say and a project failed. So what project
oh, shit.
is?
I gotta read through all the projects.
You have the Call for Survivors. The Weird Water Research, which is the one with Vera June, and then the Living Food Storage Structure.
Whose project hasn't gotten destroyed yet? Because I feel bad. Keep on destroying Jake's project.
Only-
This is like
only
the second
Jake.
one I destroyed.
Only Jake's have been destroyed or altered, so you have 2 that are not Jake's.
Bye bye, Call for the Survivors. Because, like, if I really think about it, the cave wouldn't be destroyed as short and thick.
Well, that's
And then
the cave
I feel
is
bad
done.
if I keep just fucking Jake's projects. It's like a large antenna, right?
Yeah. No, it was a large beacon that they built, and then it lost power immediately, and nobody checked on it for 5 weeks. And they're like, "Oh shit, this isn't working." Flipped it back on, and the sandstorm came like 2 weeks later. It was like, "Nah, fuck you."
I'm so sorry. Oh, none of the projects really failed except for 2.
Yeah, one of Jake's failed, and then one of Jake's I think got altered. From a
One of
different
them
card.
failed, and then one of them ended in a.
Yeah, that happened too.
I feel like people, it should be even less than bare at this point.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that would be. We
Yeah.
didn't lose any people, but now we have no new people coming in, and now we have fertility issues. We're gonna kill this town before we even start.
Nah. Someone will survive. 2 projects go down. Tina, take an action. Discover something new, have a discussion, or start a project.
Steve is just gonna open a discussion. See, we need to build more robots so we can prevent disasters like this from happening. They're the whole reason why nobody was killed here. They lost one of their own for our sake without asking for anything in return. We must unite.
One of the very, very last Bobbies. Old Red. I'm guessing there's like a microphone they step up to or something. He's got a black eye and one of his arms is in a sling. And he says, "I agree wholeheartedly." And then turns around and sits back down in his chair and cowers.
Not the cowering. Fuck.
So, just to interrupt here, the narrative I have in my head right now is like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, a Bobby was killed by an android. Then the next week, a sandstorm happened. And then they hold a discussion after the sandstorm, and Steve is like, "We need to keep these androids." And a Bobby who mysteriously has a black eye and their arm in a sling, probably from an android, punching them and beating them up during the sandstorm.
We don't know. We don't
We
know.
don't know.
The world
We don't-
will never know.
We don't know.
But he's just like, "Yes, I agree."
Yep.
Oh my god. Will,
This
your
is getting
response.
messy.
I'm gonna leave it as Headmistress Isla of the Warden's Academy speaks up. As much as I would love to invest in creating new robots as well, we have a matter of there's not a lot of people here. I understand that one of yours has died, and I appreciate that, but many people have died here, and there's still people suffering from the effects of the springs that we're still trying to research. Until we can raise our own population, I think we need to get through winter with what we have.
There is a group of drift gurus who are passing through again, and one of them happens to overhear this conversation and speaks up and says, "We have seen many civilizations rise and fall in these lands before you arrived here. And let me tell you one thing. You're headed for the fall if you don't figure out how to unite and get over your differences."
Okay. And Tina, I think you started with a statement, so there's no additional comments.
I'm surprised there's no any like the coins.
The what? Oh, contempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess let's go through a contempt really quick because it's been a minute. Does anyone have any contempt or think anyone has had contempt throughout the past few weeks?
Contempt for the loyalists from Rose.
Yeah,
from Abbey
definitely.
Road.
Oh,
Definitely.
100%.
I think also, I'm going to say it's the same contempt, but anybody who's been affected by the spring water, whether Abby has convinced them that the Empire or the Wardens are behind it, they just don't like the spring water at all because it's fucked up their lives that are already miserable.
So is that contempt?
And the afflicted towards the loyalists / Wardens.
Okay.
I feel like there would be contempt towards Abbey Rose from the people who are affected negatively from the magic water. They are probably like, yeah, easy for you to say. You didn't get fucked. Because they don't know that it was poison.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there's the afflicted are pissed at everyone. They're pissed at the loyalists and wardens. They're pissed at Abbey Rose.
They're not happy. I mean, would you blame them?
I would not.
I added a faction called the Afflicted, just those that have been affected.
Yeah, it works. It's good.
I think there is some, I don't know if it's a contempt, but suspicion towards the Sunken Apostles.
Jake's turn. 10 of Autumn.
Harvest is here and plentiful, add an abundance, or cold autumn winds drive out your enemies, remove a threatening force from the map and the area. What are the threatening forces near us? The maw and the circle thingies?
The maw could be a threatening force. Again, that's all kind of just talk. It's not something we've definitely witnessed with our eyes.
Mhm.
Something we have witnessed with our eyes as a threatening force is the giant bird up at the volcano that snatched Steve, or the giant Quacken in the distance.
There is also the Freedom Fighters, which the Empire would probably consider a threat, that we don't know if they're still alive or not by the Red Rock people. And then depending on how we feel about the company that went south, that we were like, we should probably send somebody after them to bring them back here. Maybe they stop building their railroad over fall or winter, so they're not going to get close to us.
The weird red circles, what's up with the ship? Is the ship completely gone now?
No, during the ending of summer,
Oh.
the circles we noticed did not move away from the ship, and the ship has stopped sinking.
Huh, okay.
But they're still over there.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to add an abundance.
'Kay.
We don't know exactly how it happened. A lot of people think something to do with the cleaning of the Aurora source and a byproduct of that. But what are they? Blood dragon trees?
Yeah.
All of a sudden sprout hundreds.
Boop, 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 boop.
An abundance. An
I think that's
abundance.
enough of
An abundance.
that. Okay, I'll do one more.
Thank you.
Happy?
Yeah.
Cool. Did we have that as a abundance already?
No, I think
No.
it was not. I think it became our usable land.
Yeah, so that's all usable land now in there.
Do an action, Jake.
What are the parameters for the discovery one?
Whenever things seem too controlled or easy, we can use this action to introduce new issues or dilemmas. It might be a problem, an opportunity, or a bit of both. So they have on here a dried up well, mangy wolves, broken down water wheel, strange wailing noises, or a self-declared prophet arrives. Those are just examples that they have.
Okay. I am going to discover something new. We have a new faction. They're called the Hollow Academy. They're a rival to the Warden's Academy of the Font. Much smaller. It's an underground schooling run by somebody in the Roses organization, and they have a very, very, very small vein source to the water. The
Unfiltered water, I'm guessing.
yeah, the school dwarfs them in power, or the other school dwarfs them in power and everything, and they're not really competing. They're trying to stay as underground as possible, but they don't agree with keeping the magic hidden.
Do you have a name of the person that's led by, or do you want to keep that on the wraps for now?
Yeah, let me think about it.
Has this small rival faction, have they discovered or found any of the books that the Warden's Academy is using about how to imbue people with the spring water, or are they just baptizing people in the spring water to see what happens and then going from there?
I think same with their access to the water. They have friendlies on the inside of the other academy.
Okay.
And they've been given very, very rudimentary understanding. They don't have all the access that the other school has nearly, but they've been basically pointed in the right direction of here is how you safely harvest this stuff, and this is how you safely give people powers. Now you go figure the rest out yourself.
Will, you ready? You got the 5 of Autumn.
All right. The 5 of Autumn reads, the parish arrives. Who are they? Why have they chosen your community? And for what? Or a small gang of marauders is making its way through local terrain. How many are there? What weapons do they carry? The parish is just like the church, right?
It's a religious community.
I think a small gang of marauders makes their way through. They come through on the Orcus hounds. Am I saying that right?
Orcs.
Yeah, the Auric hounds, but it's smaller humanoid peoples, along with people that look like full-size humanoids that are coming through, and they do have some tech, and they wear the colors of the Freedom Fighters, and they have, I'm gonna say, stolen some food and knock us down to moderate on food, and probably bring fear of technology back up to moderate as they start raiding the edges of our town and spooking our quackins, and kind of like they come in, stir up the quackins to try to cause trouble, take what they can, and then run off back out to the desert.
Okay. And they're
And
coming from the west, right?
yep,
It's
is.
got a fucking Glock.
Yeah. Where was the drawing of the Orcus?
Oh yeah, what happened to your dog drawing? Jake?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, your 3 circles with 6 dots. Where'd that go?
I'm not. Don't know. Have any idea what you're talking about?
All right, well, they're gonna be purple now.
Purple puppies. So the smaller people are the smaller humanoids. They're the ones riding the orcs, and the
Yeah.
larger ones are not riding them. Correct?
No, they are not. They are riding
Sad.
a similar, like, camel-sized creature that we don't know the name of. Or not a similar size, but like essentially a strange alien-like camel that we've not gotten super great looks at because they don't bring them in when they're raiding. They kind of sneak in to the town in the cover of darkness using the new forest that we've not fully explored. Rile up the quackins, take things. They've not killed anybody yet, but they're mostly just taking our food, and it seems like trying to stock up for winter is what people here are suspecting.
All right. Action dice have been moved down. Start doing action. Well, are we all good to go just a little bit past the hour? Because we have 3 cards left.
I think I am, if everyone else is.
I'm good.
Okay. Jake, I'm assuming you're good.
What is that supposed to mean?
You're
good.
right. That did
I'm
come
good.
off pretty
I'm
rude,
good.
didn't it?
I'm good.
Little bit. Just a little.
It wasn't me this time.
You have no one that loves you and is expecting you to be anywhere.
I'm never mean, guys. I'm never mean. Oh boy.
Unless you're playing Minecraft with them, then they're
I've never been mean playing Minecraft. People are just really.
Didn't you kill Sequoia a lot?
No, Sequoia is clumsy near edges. I don't know what to tell you.
You're just being too sensitive. Is that what that was?
Yeah.
A discovery is also made.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be really rude this round.
Do it.
There are strange. Do you know the creatures from the movie Kong that have like the almost like bone-like skull that walk? It is obviously not going to be the size of the Kong skull crawlers, but there was an interaction with somebody who was over near the academy grounds of these strange like reptilian-like creatures that have almost like a skull on top of their heads, and they have 2 forelimbs, and they are about the size of an alligator and seem to be very aggressive when encountered. And they seem to be coming down from the volcano. We've seen a couple.
What are these things called? What are the names from?
I think they're called skull diggers because we've seen them like almost like an alligator ambush predator dig themselves into like the volcanic rock and then jump up and latch at things to try to kill it. And they seem to be migrating down from the mountains.
Do they have any magical powers?
They seem resistant to magical powers, but we don't know if they've expressed any magical powers themselves, other than being really fucking creepy. And they can blend in pretty well.
We deduced that the Quackins had magical powers specifically because they're terrifying looking, so.
Yeah.
These are not friendly, though. So, if they do, we don't know.
Oh, Dees wants to kill you, huh?
Oh, yeah, they're very aggressive.
Sequoia, you ready? You have gotten the 8 of Autumn.
Someone sabotages a project and the project fails as a result. Who did this and why? Or someone is caught trying to sabotage the efforts of the community. How does the community respond? I'm going to choose someone is caught trying to sabotage the efforts of the community. How does the community respond? What happened was it was discovered by one of our night watchmen that one of the band camp kids was sneaking out to the outskirts of town to meet up with one of the bandits who robbed us. And the band camp kid was questioned and admitted to trading information to the bandit. So our town has decided that the band camp kids are old enough to be put to work because they have too much free time on their hands.
Do our projects go down an extra week because we have extra hands now?
No.
Damn.
But that's something we can consider when making projects is having extra laborers. I mean, we're still pretty bare on people, and we haven't super been keeping that in consideration when doing some of these projects too.
Nope.
I've been trying not to do anything where we send anybody out. Has been my kind of thought process.
The project dice go down. Jake, the weird water research has been completed. Was discovered by Vin. Was that her name?
Vin
Vera.
June?
Vera
Vera
June.
June. Vera goes. First, she discovers on her way there that B&K has set up the railroad, and that there's they have their place inside the mountain. So I'm guessing this got back to the. Do we have a name for the settlement? Would it
Not
be
yet.
Blood Grove, Dragon's Blood Grove, or something like that? I guess.
I've been calling the area Blood Grove.
Gotcha. They are interested in her research, so they sponsor her expedition as well, just on the condition that the information is shared with them. She discovers that it's not water at all. It is closer to a honey or royal jelly like consistency. And she discovers that it's the wellspring of this jelly is made by subterranean giant bees like creatures. They're flightless, but they do have stingers and are incredibly strong. Hive mind.
Ooh.
Has it been tested for to like being edible or safety use or anything?
It has, and it is. Let's call it a healing salve. It helps heal injuries and can put you in overall general better health.
I had a horrible thought that because the honey essentially isn't guarded, it's not a food source to them, and that instead they trap things in it. And whenever you said it heals people, I was like, oh damn, it keeps you alive until they eat you.
Yep, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it does.
That's what
Yeah.
happens now.
Yeah, you spoke it into existence.
And with the influence of some B and K people in her ear, Vera starts a company that harvests the.
Has Vera left the community at this point?
No. I'm going to say she's going to take this all back, but she's going to try to negotiate with whoever's the head of the community. But I don't think they're starting another faction, just a business.
Is she still a member of the Loyalists, or does she consider herself an outsider of the Loyalists?
I think she considers herself an outsider because she's been ostracized because she fucked up the tower so badly.
She's lucky they didn't kill her for that.
Yeah, and she sees this as her way to get back on top, and she's very much a quote unquote loyalist in that she's all about moving up in the structure of power, and doesn't care if that's through the business side of things or through the government.
Sequoia, living food storage structures, has completed as well. Do you want to elaborate on what happens with that at all?
Yeah, so we successfully built enough living structures for our scant population as well as some additional structures to store our food and our most valuable resources. It was figured out that the sudden outcropping of a bunch more dragon's blood trees must have come from seeds that were dormant that had come through the earth, ended up in the cave mud, and then sprouted when the houses were being built. And so that's why all of a sudden a bunch of trees popped up.
Do an action, Sequoia.
Sorry, really quick before I forget. I think because of the royal honey, the health and fertility goes up to moderate.
I'm fine with that.
Does it heal the mutations?
No, I don't think it's that powerful.
Okay.
But it probably stabilizes them if the mutation has like an ongoing negative effect to their health. It doesn't cure the mutation, but it'll stop any other mutations from happening. Or
Did you say your discussion, Sequoia?
Yeah.
All
And
right,
do a
what's the discussion?
discussion. The discussion is going to be started by Sunken Apostles. They're going to say to the group, even though we busted the band camp kid who was giving our position away to the bandits, clearly we need to ramp up our defenses. And we think that the best way of doing that is to go down into the front of the cave and collect those bones that were blessed by the maw and use them to fashion arrows and blades for defense.
Steve Rose is going to chime in. Why
fucking Steve
defend?
Rose.
Make more robots. Make more defense. We need more robots to defend us.
my buddy Bassoon steps up again and holds up one of the 6-shooters one of the bandits had. And he goes, I think we could try to make more of these.
Overseer Kaiser is going to walk up behind Bassoon, put a hand on their shoulder, and we might not have the materials to make that precisely. But if you want to trust me with one of those, we'll see if we can't put our springs to work and make something that can help.
All right, and then I think with that conversation, we should add a resource of defenses, which we don't have any. Yeah, I mean we do have now 4 androids instead of 5,
And we have 2 magic schools, right? So
I think it's a scarcity because I think a lot of people can defend themselves individually, but we don't have a town defense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, any one person who gets jumped, they might have a giant quack and it'll come to their aid. Or maybe they've befriended one of the Weirs. Or they might have magic powers. They're part of one of the Warden's academies. But we don't have, like, here's our barricades. Here's how we're defending ourselves. Here's our plan.
Jake, it is going to be your turn. Tina, it is your turn. Jack of Autumn.
A project finishes early. Which one? Why? If there are no projects underway, restlessness creates animosity, and animosity leads to violence. Who gets hurt?
I think we actually might not. I don't think we have any projects going.
I think we literally just finished our last project.
Yeah, I think we're
Okay,
two
okay.
projects which is finished.
This is not on me. Fall just wants me to be evil. I've only gotten the evil choices.
Yeah, seriously, that I like that timed out like that.
It was meant to be for you, Tina.
It's like it wants me to be evil. I have to be. Oh no, the horror.
Oh no! Oh no! If there are no projects underway, restlessness creates animosity, and animosity leads to violence. Who gets hurt?
During a talk between Abby and Steve Rose. Actually, no.
No, do it. Do it. One of them must die.
I mean, then it didn't say die. It says who gets hurt.
This next card, someone in your community dies. No, I'm just kidding.
Abby slashes Steve and finds out it's a skin suit on top of a robot. And Steve's been dead all along.
That wasn't my plan at all. No. Oh no. Not my master plan out in the open. During a conversation between Abby, Steve Rose, and Old Red, being part of the Bobby crew that's, remaining with Steve and having Steve side without any, there was no forcefully. He just really likes robot. Abby gets heated and accidentally supercharges Steve and a massive injury is slashed across his entire body. She cast a spell that she didn't know how to control, and Steve got fucked.
Abby gets heated and accidentally casts a spell at Steve, and Steve gets hurt.
Yes. Abby keeps saying it was never aimed for Steve, but Steve saw her eyes and no longer is part of the Roses and now has last name of Steve.
I'm
He
not.
changes his last name.
I'm not making him Steve Steele.
Steve Flint.
That is
Steve
the most
Flint.
pornographic name I have ever heard in my goddamn life.
And during of course, Steve was surrounded by his robot companions, and instead of attacking, they more or less implant him with a prosthetics, because he loses an arm during her spell cast. And the androids give him a prosthetic, which is parts of the dead android from the sandstorm. It almost seemed like the robots were a little bit too happy to shove a prosthetic robotic arm to Steve. We don't even really know if Steve actually needed that, but he does now. I feel like the fear of the trust of Roses should be a scarcity, because she just attacked her only sibling, and I feel like the fear of technology goes to scarcity too, because the androids didn't even flinch. They just went straight to helper mode.
Was that the first big display of magic that our group has seen?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna add a fear of magic based off that as well.
Yes.
That feels fair.
What's a better way for an empire to take control over people than fear of things?
Yep.
That was the card. We didn't have any projects. Take an action, Tina.
So there are a giant dragon Quacken that's coming towards the village. They've discovered that there are people who speaks this, like, can understand the same language as them, and they've come officially to meet the villagers and to trade with them. They met a new group of traders called trying to work from the fly to name names is fucking hard.
Take your time. I can move to Jake, and then we'll come back for the name of this new faction of traders from the backs of Quacken-sized or Quacken-looking monsters.
The dragon.
Also have the name of the leader of the Hollow Academy.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. What's their name?
Mortimer Rose.
Wait, is that of the Rose family?
Yeah.
What is the relation between Mortimer and
He's a
Abby
cousin.
and cousin? What's his title? Is it headmaster?
Sure.
Okay, let me do Jake's turn here, and then I'll get the name of that group from you, Tina. Jake, we have our last card here. Yep, making sure. It's the 2 of Autumn. Someone
returns to the community where were they? You find a body. Do people recognize who it is? What happened? I'm going to go with you find a body. Do people recognize who it is? What happened? Okay. So Kurt Bridges' body turns up, and into his forehead, he's got carved some type of magical symbol, and it looks very similar to, let's say, some type of language that the wardens of the font use.
How's the community kind of react to that?
So what I think is going on, not good. They're pissed off. They think that the wardens definitely did this a little behind the scenes. I think the loyalists planted that body there for this to happen, and they're trying to wrestle more control over it's an internal politics battle. They're not trying to necessarily get rid of the font, right? Because they've entered into this deal with them, but they're trying to wrestle more control over their inner workings.
I'm adding a resource trust of wardens. Project dice go down.
I'm going to put in moderate hate of freedom fighters, because they're now attacking us.
Yeah, disguised as bandits. If anyone didn't pick up on that, it was the freedom fighters and the Red Rock folk as the bandits.
Yeah.
just in case that was went over.
Our
anyone.
group might not know that 100%, but there are
Yeah.
suspicions.
It's sus.
There's no projects for it to go down. So Jake, take the last action of Autumn.
Discovery time. There's still the ship left, right?
Yeah, the ship is no longer sinking.
The Bobbies didn't do a great job of taking everything from the rest of the ship, and they found, let's say, a whole cargo section, people still in stasis pods.
Ooh, that's fun.
So I'm going to say a good amount of people, at least enough to get from bare to scarce.
Okay. Do we want to make that something that has to become a project, like safely getting them out of their stasis?
I don't know.
pods?
They've been discovered, right? I guess that's
They've
up
been
to
discovered,
somebody
yeah.
else. If
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe
they're
the
in there for the next 25 years. Who knows?
Yeah, or the loyalists see them and they're like, "Those are freedom fighters. Let's we want to keep
yeah,
our
we
power."
don't know.
Nuke
We
them
don't know
all.
the makeup. Whatever the accounting system is that accounts for all their names and who they are and their positions and why they are on the flight is all gone. It's all scrubbed. So there is no proof to who any of these people are except for what they tell you.
Yeah, so it'll be up to the community to either have a discussion on what to do about them, or someone just being like, "I'm going to do something about them," which might cause some contempt to arise. Tina, did you ever get a name for that faction?
The fraction is called the Spineborn, and the caravan is the Spineborn caravan. And they are people who lived on the large quacking-like creature. Oh, also they can fly. These are the flying people that the villagers saw that are like
Yeah.
bluish in color.
Yeah.
I just realized I made the avatar blue mountain creature.
Yeah, you sure did.
Fuck.
You made
sure
two
did.
sets of them. You made some of them that are mutated and some of them that have lived here for a while. So, you know.
Shit.
In the fall, nights came earlier than they should, and the air thickened with a chill that did not belong to winter. Near the wreck, the ground is shifting. Whole beams and walls now lean on angles that weren't there before. Survivors say it feels as though the earth itself is breathing, shifting beneath their feet with every breath. When the fog rolls low, some swear they've seen pale shapes brushing the hall, long, deliberate, like fingers tapping the door of a locked room. There are stories spreading, whispered around fires and over empty bowls, of a presence beneath the soil, something vast that listens when we speak too loudly, something patient enough to wait through every season until it decides it no longer must. They never give it one name, they don't dare, but they tell it the same way. The frost creeps with its breath, the earth hums with its song, and the ship shudders like prey in a tightening coil. One voice once warned us, before the wardens made sure it went silent, that the font was not ours to claim, that to bend it, to filter it, was to call down the eye of what first laid it here. Maybe that's why the nights feel so much longer now. Maybe that's why every step sounds hollow, like we walk on a shell. The end of fall isn't an ending. It's a pause before a hand closes. Winter will tell us what it means to be held.